Brand new segment, a brand new series of Tosser of the Week, but it's only going to be one episode, and that's today's. You're not going to believe what happened. Now, look, I know I'm not a comedian. I get that. I try and be witty now and again, and most people understand wit, but unfortunately the younger generation, well, I'm saying the younger generation, but Norm here, he ain't the younger generation. Basically, if you are named Norm, you know you're not the younger generation. Anyway, Gen Z, or Gen Z, depending where you are in the world, for some reason don't have humour in their life. And it seems that I've offended good old Norm over here. G'day, Sammy, how are you? Thank you very much. And I'm going to tell you about little Norm and why I've upset him and why his response to me was completely inappropriate. And it just goes with the times now. It really does. That the younger generation, and again, his name's Norm, so he's not young. He thinks he's young, but he's not young. The younger generation are just so sensitive, and they really, really carry on about nothing, and they take it to the extreme where it becomes absolutely stupid. Now, Norm down here has a YouTube channel. You might have seen it before. I'm pretty sure a lot of you here have. It's called Tokyo Lens, and on there is really good content. The guy knows how to make really good content. He does. But there is a reputation out there that good old Norm here is not a very friendly person, that he's a little bit unstable. And that's not just coming from me. That's coming from many, 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 many people. In fact, that is one thing that John Dobb and I do agree on. John Dobb even thinks that good old Norm down here is rather unstable. And tonight we're going to discuss on why he becomes Tosser of the Week, and why the younger generation need to get some humour. But again, his name's Norm. Okay, let's not forget about this. His name is Norm, right? If you're wondering if you are in Gen Z or Gen Z generation, if you think you are still young and in the woke brigade, just go to the mirror, look in the mirror, and say your name. If it's my name, you're not Gen Z. If you're a Norm, you're not Gen Z. So therefore, you should have a little bit more common sense, and you should have some manners to start with. And most importantly, you should have a sense of humour, which is something he doesn't have. People these days get offended too easy. They do get offended too easy, and then they take it to the extreme, Sam. This is what the problem is. We've lost the art of sarcasm, we've lost the art of humour, we've lost the art of bagging out and just being light-hearted in life. And it's really disturbing and it's really annoying. Now, I've talked to a few people since good old Norm posted something online, which I'm going to show you in a minute, and quite a few people have actually contacted me and said Norm is quite unstable, and he's also mouthed off at them and given really bad, stupid comments back. But a couple of other people I was talking to before I came online today has also said that there seems to be a culture with Japanese YouTubers that there is a big ego thing going on there, that none of them like each other. Now, I know there's an exception to the rule. There's Chris Broad, for example, and he has Joey the Anime Man with him, and Natsuki, even though Natsuki's not really on YouTube, but you call him a YouTube star, Ryotaro, etc. So Chris Broad actually has a good little team going around him, and it's because Chris Broad is not Gen Z, and has a bit of humour. You by watching Chris Broad, you could see he's got humour. Well, anyway, this guy here, Norm, he actually got his break from Chris Broad. Chris Broad made this guy. Chris Broad basically gave him the viewer base he has today, and then all of a sudden, when this guy's ego got too big, he had nothing to do with Chris Broad anymore and went on his own little journey. And that's perfectly fine. That's, people grow apart and people do stuff differently. But you've got to treat your viewers nice. And what I don't understand is why or how somebody with that many viewers or that many subs can have, that many, when he is rude to not just me, but to a lot of people. His reputation is being a tosser and being rude to people because, I don't know, he's got a mental imbalance or something. So anyway, he posted a video. Let's have a look at this now. Let's see what you all think. See if I am right and he is wrong, or if he is right and I am wrong. You decide on this one, okay? But I think it is worth discussing because it is a problem with the younger generation now, excluding him. He thinks he's young, but his name's Norm. he posted a video on a shop in Akihabara, which you've seen on this channel. It was in the Choose Your Own Adventure video, and I've also shown it in live streams before. We've been there a few times. Anyway, I was watching the video, really enjoyed the video. As I say, he makes pretty good content. He went up to the store, which I've shown you all before, and wittingly, I said, "Oh my God, you've shown everybody my secret store. Now everybody will know and everybody will go there." Laughing out loud. You'll see the comment in a minute. And it was meant as a light-hearted comment. At which point I thought I would get a reply back going, "Ha, everybody knows it now." Because, you know, the problem with people in Japan and Japan creators is they think they own Japan, right? And he's obviously taken my comment thinking that that's my shop and nobody's allowed to go in there. Because, again, that's how Japanese YouTubers think. And when I say Japanese YouTubers, I mean foreign YouTubers. And we'll go into this guy's personal life a little bit later in this stream to give you an idea of his credibility out there. But, anyway, this is what we wrote. Well, this is what it was all about. I wrote, "Damn, you showed my favourite hidden store upstairs." Laughing out loud. I thought the laughing out loud would have suggested that it was a joke comment. Now everybody will know. And he replied with, "I've shown it dozens of times, mate." Well, for a start, Norm, I'm not your mate. Okay, you don't know me. I'm not your mate. And don't be a gatekeeper. Now, I did have to Google. We'll come back to that comment in a second, the rest of it in a second. But I did have to Google gatekeeper because I am not Gen Z. In case you never knew, I'm not Gen Z and neither is Norm. And again, look at the name, Norm. Do you know anybody in Gen Z named Norm? No. He's one of these guys that's going to be going to nightclubs when he's 60 and trying to pretend that he's young, but he's not. He's a middle-aged man. So anyway, I Googled gatekeeper, and gatekeeper comes up with a bunch of different contexts depending on where you are in the world, but he's Canadian, so therefore he should be very polite. He's Canadian, but he's acting very much American. But in relation to gatekeeper, the comment from a Canadian/American, it's a very derogatory comment. It's a very rude comment. It's a comment created by Gen Z. And it's quite horrible. It's quite a horrible comment. So I wrote back to him, again, thinking that I would explain myself a little bit, just to say, okay, well, obviously, you've taken it the wrong way. So I wrote back with, "Tokyo Lens, it seems my light-hearted comment was taken the wrong way. Obviously, you don't see the humour of me suggesting it is the place to check out, because that's what it meant. It was humour by me. You may not think it was funny, but I'm sure the laughing out loud said it was humour." He replied with, so even after I've said to him, "Look, it was meant as a humorous comment, you've taken this the wrong way," he wrote back with, "You're a troll and you're acting like a troll, so you'll be treated like one. You're not welcome here, troll. Get a hobby, get real friends, stop acting like a loser, troll online." Like, what a childish comment to be given from a middle-aged man named Norm. What an absolute flog he is. Absolute flog this guy is. And again, I'm not the only one that's got comments like this. It's quite well known that this guy does this to his viewers, that he abuses people left, right, and centre. So it's no shock. I'm not telling you anything that most people don't know about him. In fact, I was talking on to some private people today in private messages, and they were all saying the same. They're going, the guy makes great content, but he's mentally disturbed, the way he speaks to people. To call somebody a gatekeeper and then to call them a troll and to say, go get some real friends. As one person I was talking to offline that contacted me today, because they saw the comment, it was posted publicly, they said, hang on a second, at no point did you say you were a friend of Norm's. I said, no, I was just the occasional viewer. I went there and I liked his content. I watched the video. He showed a shop that I like and I left a witty comment. And the person I was speaking to said, well, for a start, Norm needs to know that you've never once said that you were his friend. Because trust me, I would never be a friend of Norm's. He has a personality of basically a bit of wet paint. I mean, let's face it, he doesn't really have a personality. But how rude can you be? And again, he thinks he's Gen Z. He's a sensitive little pedal that obviously has no humour in his life. It is bitter and twisted for some reason. He's living in Japan under false pretenses anyway, because he the way he ended up living in Japan was, and this is on the record as well, he married somebody to live in Japan. He doesn't actually live with them. He's never lived with them. So, I mean, like, credibility, this guy here? I mean, come on, seriously. Anyway, what do you all think? You got the joke. I thought most people would get the joke. I thought the little laughing out loud would have meant everyone would have got the joke. Like, it's and it wasn't an out of the realm joke. It's a joke that everybody says. Like, if I see somebody with a donut here, I go to that particular donut shop, and then they say to me, "Oh, damn, you found the donut shop. Oh my God, you're going to, get all the donuts now, and everybody's going to know." And you know what I mean? It's just a throwaway, funny, light-hearted comment. That's all it is. You've read the comment. You've seen it on the screen. There's certainly no hate in the comment. And I was really taken by surprise. And then for him to come back and act like a Gen Z, a little woke weirdo, whatever he is, hippie. I think he's a hippie. I think that's what his problem is. Again, his name's Norm. He's a middle-aged man. For a middle-aged man to carry on like that and give a comment in a public forum, to then go on and say that I was a troll and go out and get friends and all this sort of rubbish, after I try to qualify and say, look, you took it the wrong way, I just meant it as a joke. No harm. No harm intended. I watched your video, I enjoyed it. I gave a light-hearted comment. What an absolute flog he is. An absolute flog. And again, this happens to a lot of people. He does this to a lot of people. Do let us know in the live chat, though, what you think. Sam gets a joke. You're back after a short hiatus from the channel. Yes, it is. He is Gen X. Yeah, he's acting like Gen X, but he's not Gen X. That's the thing, Sam, because he's a middle-aged man. He's one of these middle-aged men that never grow up, that holds on to their youth. They don't realise they're getting older. And he's completely out of touch because, let's face it, most of Gen Z are completely out of touch with their whole carry-on. The problem I have with Gen Z is they have no humour. They have no humour whatsoever in their life. They are bitter. They are nasty. They're just confrontational. They're just full of hate. This is what Gen Z is, from all the shit that they go on about. Shit like Norm carries on about. We hear it in America where they use the words like Karen, for example. I mean, how childish is this? How stupid is this Karen thing that has come from America? You can't say this, you can't do this. A teacher in a girls' school got told off because he referred to them as girls. I mean, it's so ridiculous. This Gen Z mentality is wrong. And again, I keep stressing, and I'm going to keep stressing, he is a middle-aged man. He is not Gen Z. He thinks he is. He's going to be one of these people that's going to be rocking it out at the nightclub when he's 60 years of age, thinking he's cool. Yet everybody's going to be staring at him at the corner going, that's a really old man that thinks he's not. He is a middle-aged man. Look at him. I mean, he looks depressing as it is. He looks like a hippie as it is. But he is certainly not Gen Z, and his comments were completely unacceptable. So because of that, he gets Tosser of the Week. You've never heard of this channel. Geez, can't you go randomly saying the stuff to innocent people? I know, right? And it was, I mean, you can read it there again. Have a read of that conversation, everybody. If he hasn't taken it to the extreme and been absolutely ridiculous about it, I don't know. But this happens too much now with the Gen Z. I don't comment much on YouTube videos now because Gen Z don't have a sense of humour. But to start with, if anybody can see a problem with the comment I originally gave, please do let me know. Damn, you showed the hidden store upstairs, laughing out loud. Now everybody will know. Now, to me, as a witty comment, that suggests it must be good. We must go, right? It wasn't me going, oh, you idiot, you showed them a shop and you shouldn't have shown. I never said that. I don't own Japan. I don't own the shops. I think it's a terrific shop. It has lots of stuff in there. And in fact, on the Choose Your Own Adventure video we did, I said to you all, I said, tourists don't go into this shop because they don't know it's here. You should all come into this shop. And on the video I said, but if you do come into this shop, then it won't be a secret anymore. I said that, but it's taken as a joke. I don't buy things in the shop. I like to go in there and have a look. But then for him to come back with some childish comment, don't be a gatekeeper, and calling me a mate, I'm not his mate, for a start. I don't think anybody is his mate. I don't think he has any mates. Hippies don't have mates. To call me a gatekeeper was kind of like pretty childish and pathetic. So, as I say, then I justified myself and said, it seems my light-hearted comment, I was making it quite clear to him, was taken the wrong way. Obviously, you don't see the humour of me suggesting that it is a place to go and check out. So I qualified what I meant by that. Now, if he didn't like my comment, he should have just deleted it, because he is the creator. He has the power too. But no, he then wrote, you're a troll, and you're acting like a troll, so you'll be treated like one. You're not welcome here, troll. Get a hobby. Get real friends. Stop acting like a loser troll online. Now, that is just so childish, isn't it? From a middle-aged old man. And his mods actually bombarded this channel as well. Luckily, YouTube blocked all their comments, and I did delete them all. But I was getting comments from his moderators all last night as well onto this channel. So, in fact, they were trolling me, so to speak. But I couldn't believe it, and I do think that it warranted a live stream today to call him out. I know not many people watch my channel. In fact, his moderators were writing to me last night going, you only posted a comment on his channel so you could steal his viewers. It's like I didn't suggest to anybody to come and look at my channel. How can I compete with the content he provides? My Japan content is nowhere on the level of the stuff that he provides. He has polished, highly edited, really expensive made content. I wasn't there to steal anything. I was there to enjoy his content and give a comment, in which I did. I thought I had the right to give a comment. But apparently I was there trying to steal his viewers for my own personal gain. It's like, I'm not trying to steal his viewers for personal gain. I gave a simple, light-hearted comment about a shop that anybody in Japan knows about, that we all love. So there seems to be a problem with Japan YouTubers. They just don't get along, or they have an ego so big that's ridiculous. And then you got idiots like this, that is a middle-aged man that thinks he's Gen Z. Good on you, Norm. Again, if you think you are Gen Z, just say your name a few times, and then you realise, Norm, yes, you're not Gen Z. But, you know, you get people like this that even shouldn't be living in Japan, that married somebody on a financial agreement and doesn't even live with them to live in Japan. And he comes and criticises me. So, like, if he wants to criticise me, I'll come online like I am now and criticise back, because, you know, my comments won't be seen on his page. We know that for a fact, right? His comments are, but my comments aren't. So I've got a small, insignificant channel. We know it's a small and insignificant channel. I'll come on and I'll call him out. He wants to pay somebody to stay in Japan like he has. That's unethical, isn't it? But to treat people like the way he did, thinking that he is some Gen Z, when he's a middle-aged man named Norm that's got obviously anger issues, mental issues, is just pathetic. Anyway, do let us know what you all think. It seems that you are all agreeing with me in the conversation, which is quite nice. Some Gen Z good, but most are like this. Yeah, most are like this. That's what the problem are. Especially when, it seems to me like it's a perfect little joke. Well, I thought it was a perfect little joke as well. Did you unsub from him? No, I think he just banned me. I think. They spammed me for a little joke that was clearly a joke and wasn't offensive. Yeah, so they spammed me, but they were spamming me with messages basically telling me to go get a life, and I'm trying to steal his views and all this sort of rubbish and, you know, crap. Through a simple, heartless, humorous comment. And I personally think the reason why I've come on tonight is I think he needs to apologise. He won't, because the guy's tapped in the head. And as I say, it hasn't just happened to me, it happens to a lot of his viewers. That's why I'm quite surprised he has viewers, because he does it all the time. But the only viewers he has remaining on his channel, which is quite a lot of viewers, don't get me wrong, but he only has Gen Zs on his channel. Anybody else, he gets rid of, he kicks away. So, you know, but I think he should publicly apologise, because he posted that online. He posted that comment online. He should apologise for that comment. I'm not a troll. I'm certainly not his friend. I'm not his mate. And I certainly didn't write anything that justified such an outburst from him. It's just like saying salmon is good. Yeah. So, let me do a little vote. Let me do a vote. I don't know how many's watching or who's watching, but let's do it just for a while. Is Norm the tosser of the week? Yes or no? Let's ask the community. Here we go. Let's have a vote. You've read what he had to say. You read what I had to say. And let's have a vote for like 30 seconds or so. It's good. 100% says yes so far. That's a good sign. And of course, the bit about Norm, if he actually knew me, he would realise that people don't have to agree with me anyway. So, like the people on this channel are not going to agree with me, Norm, just because they're on my channel. Unlike your channel. I don't have the woke community here. He deleted the comment. I think he did. Or he deleted my comment anyway. But that's why I screenshotted it. How are you, Ray? We got votes coming in. 100% says that he is the tosser of the week. I think so too. I just really think he's worth calling out. That's his channel there, Takeo Lens. And again, like before he posted this comment, I thought his content was really good. I'd heard the rumours. I'd even heard it from John Dobb that this guy was a loose cannon and a loser and mentally disturbed. And I had Peso on my lounge. John Dobb's moderator, Peso, was on my lounge going, one person that you should never trust in Japan that's really unstable, that upsets a lot of people, is Norm. I've heard this from his moderator sitting on my lounge. And I thought, yeah, whatever. And I just watched I, like always, used to watch his content. Bit depressing, the way he mopes around, but I used to watch his content, nicely filmed, really well done. And so I thought, well, I'll just leave a comment because he went into a shop that I love. That's what it was, a shop that I loved, a pretty good shop, a shop we've shown online before. And to get a comment like that is just completely unacceptable, isn't it? It was a video where they were looking for tech in Akihabara, unusual tech. So they went into, you know that shop I showed where you go into the alleyway and you go up the staircase and there's mini disc players and that in there? If you played the Choose Your Own Adventure, you would have seen it. It was that shop there. It's a brilliant shop. Everybody should go there. But as even I said on my video, I said it's Akihabara's best kept secret because no tourists know it's there. No tourists know to go down that little deep dark alley up the stairs and you'll find this gold mine of a shop. It's a brilliant shop. It sells every unusual thing you could imagine and a whole lot more. And, he went up there with a couple of people and, I just said, oh, damn, you've given the secret away. Throwaway comment. And anybody else with a brain, anybody else that wasn't Gen Z, I mean, he acts like an American, which is quite strange. And somebody that contacted me today even said that. They go, he acts like an American, yet he's a Canadian, and they're supposed to be friendly. But anybody else would have seen that as a throwaway comment, or if they never saw it as a throwaway comment, he could have replied with, well, the shop's for all of us. You know what I mean? But rather that, he, in his nutty, unstable way, goes on like this. Now, is he always on guard? Is he on guard because, I don't know, immigration might catch him out in Japan for having an illegal relationship to live in Japan, and so therefore he thinks anybody that writes on his channel is conspiring against him? Obviously his mods do, because they were messaging me last night going, you're trying to steal his viewers. So I'm not trying to steal anybody's viewers. I've tried this YouTube game for years now. It doesn't work for me. I've tried. It doesn't work. There's nothing I can do about it. I certainly can't compete with people that are making content like good old Norm down here. I can't compete with that. I'll never compete with stuff like that. But he shouldn't be acting like an absolute Gen Z tosspot. He is not Gen Z. Again, he is Norm. He is a middle-aged man, and he should be acting like a middle-aged man, not like a child. An immature, idiot child. We'll end the poll now. 100% says yes, he is the tosser of the week. I'm glad it was 100%. I don't know what would have happened if it was otherwise. You don't think it's there anymore? His surname is Nakamura. He's half Japanese. He married a Japanese woman. He doesn't live with her though. Japanese woman and a child. He doesn't live with them. He's never lived with them. He married them for citizenship. That's all I've been able to research and find out at this stage. But then again, he only left this comment not long ago. So I'm sure if I research a little bit more into him, more will be in the closet on good old Norm. But I don't get it. Where have we gone wrong? Why is there no humour now? Why did Gen Z have no humour in their bones? Why are they always defensive? Why are they always rude? Why are they always on guard like this? Why are they always nasty like this? And he has a track record of being nasty. There are hundreds of viewers that he's been rude to and nasty to. You been watching the Code 1 show? Yes. I saw the Code 1 show last night. I was looking at it with Victor there. Yes, a train crash in Melbourne. So, tell me, everybody, what do you think? Is what he wrote Gen Z comments? I think it is. And should a middle-aged man named Norm be writing Gen Z comments? Was it inappropriate what he wrote, or was it not? Do let me know. Do you see what I wrote as a joke or a comment that really didn't warrant a reply, to tell you the truth? Or do you not? Do let me know. Do let me know what you think of good old Norm and what he wrote. I'd be interested to know, because he is the tosser of the week. So it's only fair we talk about the tosser of the week. Now, I do think that he should apologise, publicly apologise. I think he should, because if you post something online about somebody, you should publicly apologise to them. And he did post it online publicly. He attacked me. He physically attacked me with what he said. He made accusations, which would be on the verge of defamation even, publicly. I mean, now you could say the same for me, but I'm defending myself, and as a former authorised officer, I'm allowed to defend myself, and I'm defending myself correctly within the bounds of which I'm allowed to. Once you said a disabled joke to one of your old disabled friends and they got offended. That's crazy, isn't it? Because Sam is also disabled. So you can't even say a joke about yourself. Like, I always say disability jokes about myself or disability jokes as well because of my disability. Too rude for a Canadian or a Japanese. Exactly. I knew he was Canadian from his accent, but I had a strange feeling that maybe he was an American Canadian. Do you know what I mean? Because he was acting like an American would act more than a Canadian. Canadians shouldn't act like that. Absolutely shouldn't act like that. And to be living in Japan should definitely not be acting like that. If a comment like I gave made him snap that much, so quick and so easy, when he's living in a country that is pretty much stress-free, let's face it, it's pretty much stress-free because, you know, you look at what's going on in the world, you got to think to yourself, what sort of mental illness does this guy have? Because if he was in a normal situation of a normal city, in Canada or America or Australia or England or whatever, if he's snapping that easy in Japan, can you picture how easy he would snap in one of these other countries where there is actually stress and pressure on your shoulders? It's completely inappropriate. But again, he thinks he's young. He thinks he's Gen Z or something. I think he's a hippie. He acts like a hippie. You know, kumbaya, let's go sit in the bush and go under the pyramid of wonderment. But yeah, it deserved doing a live stream from. You know, everybody gets comments online. Sam gets them as a creator. City Gunzels will get them as a creator. Sometimes you comment on somebody's post and they don't like your comment and they'll write back and they'll say they don't like your comment. That's fine. That's fair game, right? He could have just simply said, don't like your comment. Inappropriate. The shop's for everybody. He could have said that, right? But he went on the attack. And he went on the attack in the extreme. He's just a pig, as far as I'm concerned. With what he wrote, he is just nothing more than a scumbag, foul-mouthed pig. that was obviously dragged up, obviously was not brought up by any sort of parents, has no morals, obviously. We know his living conditions, and who he doesn't live with to get his citizenship in Japan. But to write something like that to somebody you don't know? Like, what if I was a 13-year-old kid that he wrote that to? What would that 13-year-old kid end up doing to themselves through the mental issues that he could create through comments like that, through hate comments like that? What if it was somebody that was having a shit bad day, or had just lost their job and was watching his channel to get away from it, or couldn't get to Japan and would really love to get to Japan, or I don't know. Like, there's many, many things that the comment he gave could have affected somebody very seriously if they weren't strong of mind. That is a comment that kids, Gen Z kids that are precious little petals, they're the sort of comments that Gen Z kids go and do self-harm to themselves and suicide to themselves. If I was a 13-year-old kid and I read his comment then, I would think that I had no friends and that I was a troll, and I'd go jump off the balcony. And it would be because of him. Because of his stupid little immature comments. He's a middle-aged friggin' man, and he's acting like a 13-year-old kid with his little Gen Z comments. Again, his name's Norm. You know? There is nobody in the Gen Z generation named Norm. I'll assure you of that. You could jump those stairs in a wheelchair. You know, I reckon, Sammy, I've seen your wheelchair. I reckon you could jump any stairs in your wheelchair. Especially if you, like, use a control. Sammy has a wheelchair that goes... I reckon if you jumped and then go... I reckon you could do that. So yes, I think he deserves to be the, not just tosser of the week, the flog of the week, the tool of the week. If you have a comment about him, do let us know. No doubt he'll watch it, or he may not. I'm sure his mods will, at which point they'll no doubt comment. But it was completely inappropriate. Can you picture if you had a son or a daughter, 9 years of age, 10 years of age or something, and they got that comment, and he writes these comments to a lot of people. It's not just me. He has a reputation for this. So picture you having a daughter or son at like 8, 10 years of age, because that's what he's talking like, as if he's a child. You're a troll, and you're acting like a troll, so you'll be treated like one. You're not welcome here, troll. Get a hobby. Get real friends. Stop acting like a loser. The guy is unstable. The guy is absolutely unstable. And regardless of if he has good content or not, he deserves not to have any viewers or any support, really. Because if he treats people like that, that's disgusting. All of you people out there that watch him, I know a lot of you have got abusive messages off him. He's well known for that. But just think the way he's looking at all of you that are watching him. Treating you, thinking of you like dirt. He has no respect for his viewers. He has no respect for anyone. The only person he has respect for is him and his ego and his manipulation of the system, and he thinks he's something that he's not. Chris Broad made this guy. He never made himself. Chris Broad created this guy. Chris Broad gave this guy his viewers and his subs. And then this guy shat on Chris Broad and has nothing to do with Chris Broad now. But with him working for Chris Broad originally, you would think he would have a sense of humour, wouldn't you? Because Chris Broad's got a very good bloody sense of humour, and I'd like to think my sense of humour is the same as Chris Broad's, because we kind of sort of come from the same sort of place. He for sure checked your channel and felt you were trying to mark your territory. Oh my god. Insecurity. Yeah, well, I mean, did he carry on like that? Did his mods carry on like that? Because my channel's called Within Japan. If I wanted to steal subs or views from him, I would try and collab with him rather than just put a comment in the comment box. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, that's the thing. Like, all the Japanese creators are like this. They're all precious little so-and-sos. They all think that everybody's out to destroy them, that they're the only Japan YouTuber allowed on the planet. It's just so crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Maybe if they all started getting rid of their ego and working with one another, they'd be big and successful. The only one that seems to be working over there, that being successful, is Chris Broad and Chris Broad's team. You know, Joey and all them. They're successful because they seem to all get along. G'day, Mad Hatter. Norm is a troll. Trolls are scammers. Like Jetstar, yes. How are you, Mad Hatter? So, Mad Hatter's just joined us. It'll be interesting to see Mad Hatter's thoughts. Everybody else has given their thoughts. A little rundown, Mad Hatter. I went to a Tokyo Lens YouTube channel. And he showed something we've shown on the channel many times before. And I loved the video. So I gave a comment thinking it was a witty, funny comment. And this is what he wrote. I wrote, "Damn, you showed my favourite hidden store upstairs," laughing out loud. Now everybody will know. At which point Tokyo Lens, Norm, wrote, "I've shown it a dozen of times, mate. Don't be a gatekeeper." And again, I had to Google gatekeeper because I'm not Gen Z. And gatekeeper apparently is an insult now. A very bad insult. Horrible insult. So I wrote back to him and said, "Tokyo Lens, it seems my light-hearted comment was taken the wrong way. Obviously, you didn't get the humour of me suggesting that it was a place to check out." At which point Norm, Tokyo Lens, replied with, "You're a troll, and you're acting like a troll, so you'll be treated like one. You're not welcome here, troll. Get a hobby, get real friends, stop acting like a loser troll online." Now, if I was a child and I got a comment like that, and I did self-harm to myself because of Norm, you know, what would Norm do then? Because Norm sends these comments to a lot of people. I'm not the only one that's had the wrath of Norm from a comment on his content. He is quite well known. I've had Peso on the lounge here, John Dobbs' main moderator, telling me what a knob jockey this Norm is and how bad he is and how bad he treats people and the comments he writes to people. John Dobbs even said that this guy is a knob jockey. And for me to agree with John Dobb, that's a very big thing. You know what I'm saying? But I've also had, ever since he posted that comment on YouTube, because he posted that comment on YouTube, I've had people contact me. I've actually had people contact me and go, "This is him. This is what he does. This is him." He sends out nasty messages to everybody. He sounds like a dickhead to you. You can say it. Say it, Mad Hatter. Say dickhead. You don't have to do the asterisks. Yes. I couldn't believe it. And then his moderators were messaging me all night and leaving gross messages all night. Calling me a troll and this, that and the other. And I'm trying to steal his views. And it's like, what? What? What are you on about? So, Norm, that's his name, Norm. And again, I keep saying his name because he thinks that he is a young man in the Gen Z generation. And he's trying to be hip and cool with gatekeeper and all these silly comments and troll comments and, you know, all these childish comments. He is a middle-aged man. And his name is Norm. And nobody in Gen Z is called Norm. Okay, Norm? So if you are watching this, Norm, have a look in your mirror, okay? Let it be known you're a middle-aged man. Grow up, okay? Okay, I know you want to be like the little kiddies out there and, you know, kind of relate to them. I get that. YouTube's a younger platform. That's one of the things I've certainly been struggling with because I don't go for the children market. You know, I don't try and pretend I'm a child. And because it is a younger market on YouTube, it's very hard for me to get people to join this channel because they want little immature Gen Z people like you. I get that. But look in the mirror, Norm. Look in the mirror. Look at what you are. Look at what your comments can do to people. A child could do harm to themselves from a comment like that. A child might have done harm through a comment you've given because you give a lot of bad comments to people, Norm. You're an absolute flog. You're an absolute flog. Mad Hatter said asterisk. I'll break it down even better and I'll go, you're a dickhead. You're an absolute dickhead. And you should be absolutely ashamed of yourself. You should apologise to the comment you gave to me. and you should apologize to everybody else that you give these sort of comments to. You're absolutely nothing but a piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. But again, look at the way he's living in Japan. Look at the manipulation of the system he used to live in Japan. You know he's not a good person. You fly out to Japan tomorrow! Yay! I sent you the private video. Did you see the private video, Mad Hatter? Hope you did. Do let us know when you are at EG what you think about it. I think you're going to like it. I'm hoping you're going to. I think you're going to like the ice cream. Put it this way: the ice cream's really, really good. Mad Hatter will definitely have a good time in Japan. I know you're polite. Hello, back. I know you're polite. And I know Mad Hatter's going to have a ball in Japan. We met Mad Hatter in Japan, of course. And yeah, it'll be interesting because I've seen, as Mad Hatter's going to see as well, I've seen pre-tourism what Japan was like, coming back into tourism, and then what Japan is now, which I believe is an overflow of tourism, a bit crazy with tourism. It'll be interesting to see because Mad Hatter was there when it was sort of like coming out of COVID, you were allowed to go, but you needed a visa to get into Japan. And it was really nice then, I've got to say. It was really nice in Japan. But it'll be interesting to see what you think now, Mad Hatter. Luckily, where you're going to stay, you're going to be away from the tourists. But of course, you will be going to tourist areas, no doubt. And, there's a different sort of vibe going on in Japan to what there was before the pandemic. So when there was tourism there before, the vibe now is different. I don't really like the vibe that's going on at the moment. I'm hoping it'll die down once everybody gets their, 3-year lock-away trip out of the way, and it all kind of settles down again. But it's gone a bit, not Japan. Japan hasn't, but the tourism has gone a bit feral. You'll see what I mean. I think it's worse than the 2019 levels. I really do, especially in I've never known Wano to really have tourists in it. You get the occasional few type thing, but it was heaving with tourists. It was just heaving. There was a lot more rules being broken by tourists, whether it be jaywalking or talking on the mobile phone on the train, or eating on the train, or having just doing things that you wouldn't usually do. Do you know what I mean? There was a heightened thing of that. There was graffiti appearing from the tourists. There was litter appearing from the tourists. There were things that you generally wouldn't have seen from tourists before, unless you went to like Shinjuku. Do you know what I mean? Because like Shinjuku, it's a free-for-all, do whatever you want type thing. But in the other areas, it was like there were too many tourists, and the system was not used to them having too many tourists there, so it didn't know how to pull up the tourists and go, oi, you can't be doing this, right? You can't be doing this. So it'll be interesting to see what Mad Hatter's take on it is. Hopefully it will settle down again, he says. But where you're going to be, Mad Hatter, you're going to see no tourists anyway, so that'll be a great thing for you to be where you are. I really did enjoy my time out there, and it won't be my last time out there, I'll assure you of it. I found it I just found it really good, because, as I say, I'm not one for tourist attractions or that anymore. I'm just for living day in, day out type thing. So it was really good out there. Yeah, well, as I say, you're not going to get them out where you're staying. And go out to the Edo town as well. That's pretty good out there. And you'll get no tourists out there as well. But yeah, as you get further in, there's going to be a damn load of tourists. And tourists, what are they called? Tour groups. Tour groups. I've never seen so many tour groups in my life. as what was happening in Japan recently. There's so many tour groups. And every tour group I walk past, I would have a little snigger and go, oh my God, why are you in a tour group? You're in Japan, why are you in a tour group? This is ridiculous, you know? Go and explore yourself, get a JR pass. Because the tour groups would take them all to free places anyway. Yoyogi Park and places like that. And it was like, why are you paying all this money for a tour group? So, yeah. You'll notice a difference. It's like Japan is trying to recoup the money from the past 3 years, if you know what I mean. And so it's throwing everything at tourism, from letting them run wild to doing tours, to having tour guides on the street that you got to pay for, to there's just some weird stuff going on. But one thing you don't want to do is go to the shop in Akihabara, which good old Norm showed you, and which I showed you as well, because it's the best kept secret, and why would I want people to go there? What an idiot he is. What an absolute tool. Seriously. Wow. So, these are the sort of YouTubers you get in Japan. You got one that does a fake Kickstarter program that takes $50,000 off people. Says they're putting on a firework display and it was paid for by the prefecture. And quite simply, all of those people gave money and not one of them questioned him. I don't get it. And then you got good old Norm down here. Good old Gen Z Norm. That I don't know. It's just a keyboard warrior. That's just a mentally disturbed person. Maybe, I don't know, maybe he is bitter and twisted because that wife that he paid for, that he's never lived with, that he got citizenship from, that maybe he thought that he was going to have a loving wife with him. I don't know. I've got no idea. But I don't know, there's something that really upsets Norm. And I think we should look at it, everybody. Why would Norm be upset in Japan? If you are not happy in Japan, I say leave. I reckon Norm should go back to Canada. Because Norm is obviously not a very happy person. He's not in a happy place in Japan, where he can abuse people online, publicly. And these people could be children that he's abusing online as well. With these hurtful comments. So I think Norm's not in a happy place. I think we should all wrap our arms around Norm and show him some comfort as we lead him onto the ANA plane heading back to Canada. But like all the places that you could be stressed at in this life, all the jobs that you could be doing that are the most stressful jobs on the planet. You could be a nurse or a doctor. That would be the shittiest job on the planet. That would be the most stressful job on the planet. But, nurses and doctors seem to have manners. I don't know if I'm live anymore or not. It says that, successfully connected. It said that I had dropped offline for a second then. I thought good old Norm had got me banned. That's what I thought. So yeah, if you're not happy with your living conditions in Japan, Norm, if you're not happy, if you're that depressed that you have to write hurtful comments to people that you don't even know, that you don't have a sense of humor, if you're that bitter and twisted, then go back to Canada, I say. I'm back. Yeah, I got disconnected for a second then. I thought, oh, Norm's got me banned. Wow, I don't think he has. No, I can't see anything there. I think it was just internet cutting out. Yes, just the internet cutting out. But I am back. So yes, I was just saying let's show Norm some love, and he's not happy in his situation, and I think it's about time Norm went back to Canada. Maybe why could Norm be so angry? Why could he be so bitter? Do you think it was the loss of the Queen that's done it? I mean, if you've seen the guy, he is a bit of a queen himself. I don't know. There's something going on in Norm's life that is making Norm not a happy person. I wonder what it could be. Anyway, I've said my 2 bits worth, and I won't say luckily, because I think you all know on this channel that a lot of you don't agree with me most of the time. But tonight, I think it goes down in history that 100% of you have agreed with me. So there you go. It's a first. You all agree with me that he is the absolute 100% tosser of the week, flog of the week, whatever I called him of the week. He is that. He is that. You all agree, 100%. Yeah, I think that he should publicly apologize to me and make a retraction for his comments. I'm pretty sure he won't. I'm pretty sure that later tonight I'm going to be bombarded with messages from his moderators and his diehard fans, because let's face it, everybody has them. That they're going to be bombarding me with comments. You're just bitter that you don't have a channel as big as his. And no, well, I've got other things to do in life. I've got other things to do in life. If I didn't have other things to do in life, I might make video content like he makes. I might pull out the better cameras and do edited videos, but yeah. Sorry, Norm, I'm leaving that all up to you. He might get deported. I think he would get deported if it came to light to the Department of Immigration of his indiscretions. I only learnt about his indiscretions before we came online tonight. One thing I like to do before I reply back to a person, I do like to find out who I'm dealing with. Before I gave comment about John Dobb and him ripping off people with the fake Kickstarter program, I did actually have to go out and find information out first. So I don't say these things lightly. I say them with research behind me. Just if any of you are watching this and you're not sure which way to take it, again, I'm just saying, picture that, because I had no idea who I was, picture that it was like your 8-year-old daughter or son, or 13-year-old daughter or son, or 15-year-old daughter or son, and got a comment like he posted publicly. That's cyberbullying. That is cyberbullying. It's comments like that this Gen Z generation do. These are the attacks Gen Z do on people, which end up causing all sorts of problems mentally, and in some cases even suicidally. It's completely inappropriate, his comments. If he didn't write those comments, if he just had a fair old go at me, I wouldn't have thought anything about it and I wouldn't have done a live stream. But those comments were above and beyond of anything that should be said, especially in a public forum. It's disgraceful. It just shows you what a piece of shit he is. That he wasn't brought up. He was obviously not brought up at all. He was dragged up, because nobody in their right mind, no adult, Norm, you're not Gen Z, Norm, you are an adult. No adult would come out with stupid things like that, stupid kiddie comments like that. And before we end the stream, let's just have a look at the kiddie comment again. So again, think of this if you had a child. You're a troll, and you're acting like a troll, so you'll be treated like one. You're not welcome here, troll. Get a hobby. Get real friends. Stop acting like a loser troll online. So in conclusion to this stream, I would like to say I think the troll online would be him. I think we already know the loser of the week is him. The tosser of the week is him. I think he does need to apologise. I think he needs to go get medical help, because, again, I am not the only one that he's wrote comments like this to. He has a well-known track record for this. Whether it be general viewers that have contacted me already and said he's done the same to us, or whether it be even John Dobb, or John Dobb's moderator Peso, who has sat on this lounge and said that this is what this guy is like. And they said this months ago. And then to actually get a comment from him like that, and realize that this is true, this is what he does to people, this is what he says to people he doesn't even know. He has a mental illness. He absolutely has a mental illness. There is something wrong going on in his brain. For a start, you know that because he's acting like a Gen Z, like he is a teenager. And he's not. He's a middle-aged man. He's not a Gen Z. But you must have a mental illness to give childish comments like that as an adult. As an adult, to use those words, troll, and it's so childish that he has to have a mental illness. I do honestly believe, and I mean this in all sincerity, he does need to go to a doctor. He does need to go to the doctor, and he does need to be put on some sort of medication. Because if any adult at his age acts like that, and acts like that constantly, we all flip our lid and lose the plot every now and again. You've seen me do it. I get on my anger spot or whatever, or I get my bee in my bonnet. We all do this. But something has to trigger me. But he does it generally for people generally on his channel again and again and again and again and again. And when you watch him, when you listen to him, he's depressed, he's sad. You can see it in his face, you can hear it in his voice. When I became an authorized officer, I had to learn to read. One of the things we had to learn to do was read faces, because then you can find out if people are lying or telling the truth and yada, yada, yada. When you look at this man, he is a very sad little man. There is definitely something medically going on there. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know if it's because he's not loved. He's got a wife that doesn't live with him, and maybe his family have nothing to do with him. I don't know. But he's obviously not a love man. He obviously has nobody in his life that actually think of him as anything important. And so therefore I do believe that he needs to go get medical help and find out what his issues are. To act like a child and give childish comments, Gen Z comments, as a man, as a middle-aged man, and to snap that quick, that's crazy. That's unstable. Anyway, that was it for me. Thank you all for joining us tonight as we looked at this guy here. I'm pretty sure he won't apologize. I'm pretty sure that my little video will not affect his viewing numbers whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that he or anybody really won't give a shit about this particular stream. But if you did watch this and you have had comments before, whether it be from this guy or other people online as well, and it has made you feel down or depressed or suicidal even, just remember one thing. They might be throwing these comments at you, but have a look back at these idiots that are doing it. And have a look at how pathetic their lives are. And have a look how lonely and useless in life they are. How nobody actually wants them. Anybody can get viewers on YouTube. Anybody can have people following them on YouTube. We don't have a lot, but I've got people that follow me on YouTube. There's no doubt about it. But he's got nothing in his life. He's got a partner that he hasn't even lived with from day one. He's got no family. He's got nothing. And he throws comments out at you or me or other people and says we need to evaluate or look at our lives. So anyway, all of you people out there that are in Gen Z, get some humor in your life. Stop acting like this twat here. Okay, the world is really not the bad place you all think it is. The world is actually a really amazing place. And if you all get off your pity friggin' horse, and start having a little bit of humor in your life and not taking things so seriously, you might actually enjoy life. You might enjoy it a hell of a lot. I've had cancer, I've had all sorts of things in my life, but you know what? I love life. You know, I've had so many bad things happen in my life, but I absolutely love life. But while you act like this little dickwad here, and the bullshit he comes out with, and the little Gen Z dramas, and you're not enjoying your life. So don't be like him. Don't be like him. Gen Z, grow up. I've seen the Chris Broad Snow thing, yes. Yes. Hey, Super, how are you? Yes, I have. Very good. He makes terrific productions, but he's got a big team behind him. Anyway, I am about to go. Any comments, leave in the comment box below. If you are on this guy's channel and you think that his comments were totally inappropriate, which they were, leave him a message. And if he replies back to you, screenshot it and send us a copy of it, because I don't mind doing another live stream about it, okay? So go to his page. His page is Take Your Lens. Leave a comment, and if he replies back to you, screenshot it and show us. Be polite to him, but just say, hey, look, what you said is not on. That is inappropriate. You shouldn't be calling anybody these things. And look at his reply to you and screenshot it and send it to us, and we'll be more than happy to broadcast it and show it. Because people like him, unfortunately, are supported on YouTube by Gen Z. So he is successful because Gen Z watch him. But he shouldn't be successful, because he is the reason why people commit suicide, through comments he gives. He is a shameful, shameful, shameful piece of shit as far as I'm concerned. And he becomes our tosser of the week. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Wherever you are in this big, wide, wonderful world, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, or night.